I'm with Lani Belcher, and we're talking about animal rescue. Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
I started as a volunteer. Wanted to do something with animals when I first moved here. Didn't know anybody, and I actually started walking dogs for the SPCA. And then I got a foster dog that was pregnant, had 5 puppies. So it just kind of snowballed from there. And then I started volunteering with the local rescue here, and well, it's the local rescue that was actually started in Chetwynd. And I was doing the stuff for the Fort St. John kind of branch, so to speak, and then I just kind of went from there.
So, how many animals do you have?
Currently, I have 6 cats and 2 dogs.
And what animals does your rescue deal with? Is it exclusively cats and dogs?
No, we run by fosters, so we don't actually have a facility. As long as we have a foster, we can take the animal. So we've had anything from turtles, tortoises, fish, guinea pigs, ferrets, rats, a horse, bunnies, cats, dogs.
And if people are wanting to find more information out about your organization, where would they look?
On Facebook, we also have a website, but mostly Facebook. Everything is run through Facebook because all of our animals are in foster care. We don't actually have somewhere for them to come and like visit the animals or walk the animals kind of thing.
Right. And with foster parents, is because you deal with fosters.
Yes.
How does someone become involved if they'd like to foster for you?
There's foster applications on our Facebook page. There's dog adoption, cat adoption. All of our forms are on the Facebook page under forms. There's also, if you would like to surrender your pet to us, there's also a surrender form. So everything is on the Facebook page.
If somebody were to want to adopt an animal, how would they go about seeing the animal and that sort of thing? Do they fill out a form and then you contact them, or how does that work?
If they want to adopt, they put in the application, then we make sure that it's the right fit for the animal, depending on what the need of the animal is, and then we do a home check.
And if people were wanting to support your organization but not really able to foster or take an animal in at this time, what could they do to help you guys out?
We are also looking for sponsors. We're looking to start actually this year some kind of spay-neuter program. We find that there's a lot of free kittens in this community. A lot of them come from farmers that have barn cats, and then their barn cats have kittens, and then they put them on Facebook, and people get their free kittens through Facebook. When you get a free kitten, it doesn't necessarily promote good ownership, we'll say, because we believe that if you pay for an animal through an adoption, that you're more likely to invest in the animal than get it for free. We've found a lot of abandoned cats here in Fort St. John, a lot of abandoned kittens here in Fort St. John. And so people get free kittens and then they kind of haven't put an investment into them. So when they have to move or they have to leave, or for whatever reason, their family has a crisis and the SPCA is full, we're full, we can't take any in, they just tend to open the doors.
We have company.
This is
Where
Allie.
is your greatest need as a rescue? If someone could make the biggest difference for you, what could they do?
Volunteer, foster. The biggest need is fosters, because without fosters we can't do anything. You can volunteer. We do all kinds of fundraisers. That's how we make our money. Every adoption that we do, say we'll give an example of a kitten, the adoption fee is $125. If it's a male cat or male kitten, it's over $200 to get it fixed, vaccinated, and dewormed, and we're only charging $125 adoption fee. So that $75 has to be made somewhere. So we do fundraisers, and that's how we make up the difference. So we're not making money by adopting out the animals, for sure.
Tell me the story about this little guy.
Well, Ellie came into rescue on our way home because the family that she lived with, they had 2 small children. And because she's a Chihuahua, she's very tiny. She's actually 4.5 pounds. The kids were rough. They were just very young, and they were rough with her, so they'd pull on her ears or push her, or do whatever. And so her automatic instinct was to bite or to protect herself. She had nipped or I don't know if it was actually bitten, but she had nipped at the oldest child a couple times. So they decided that she needed to go to a household where there was no small children. And so she came into on her way home, and I fostered her, and I was only going to foster her until she was fixed. But yeah, how can you not?
She came to stay. Look at that face.
Yeah. So she's here to stay.
So tell us about some of your success stories.
One of our success stories, we had a dog named Baxter, and this was in 2014. He actually came down from a rescue in Whitehorse area called YARN, which stands for the Yukon Animal Rescue Network, and they were coming through here to go down south to drop off dogs, and they stopped at the Super 8 motel and we're going to stay overnight. One of the dogs got out of the truck, and it took us, I think, 2 or 3 days to like catch him because he wanted no part of that. But he kept coming back to the Super 8. The people had to continue on, and because they had a truckload of dogs, so we actually, the president at the time and I actually caught the dog and took it to her house, and we ended up bringing it into the rescue rather than try to transport it anywhere. And he turned out to be a great dog. He actually lives now with a family that has a special needs child, and he is the special needs child's dog that allows him to let go of things and function better because of this dog.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he came from a runaway to a rescue.
And how did you become involved with On Our Way Home?
It started in 2012 in Chetwynd. I was sort of the helper from the Fort St. John area because, kind of it's sort of North Peace, move around, people phone and say, hey, I've got this dog in Fort St. John, but they're in Chetwynd. So I was going to help out through the sort of be the only person here to start with. And I'd help out and see what I could do. And then the lady in Chetwynd, she decided to leave the rescue, and then we moved the rescue to Fort St. John because we had much more support here. We had much more people that could help run the rescue. So we organized a new board here in Fort St. John, and since then we've brought in probably about 1,200 animals and adopted them out. Last year we did 238 animals. This year so far, just over 160 animals. And so we're busy.
Do you have a time of year that the rescue is more impacted, like that you're more busy? Do you find there's times of year where you need more support than others?
The biggest time of year is summer, because people are going away on holidays and they're, they don't want to foster a dog or whatever because then they've got this dog and they're going away on holidays, that kind of thing. So we're finding it really hard to find fosters in the summertime. And usually at Christmas time, Christmas break or whatever, right now we have 4 puppies. So these people that are up for adoption, and so 4 people are fostering puppies through Christmas, right? So, we thank them, because they have to deal with the puppy and, Christmas and all the functions that you do at Christmas. So
do you tend to have more of a need for cat fosters or dog fosters?
Definitely cat fosters. We get probably 3 to 5 calls a day between the board members or whatever being called, asking us if we can take their cat, asking us or saying that they found this cat or kitten underneath their porch. And unfortunately, because we deal with fosters, we can't bring a semi-feral cat into the rescue because we can't put the semi-feral cat in with the foster home. We can't jeopardize, their kids, their other pets, whatever. So, what people don't understand is, they've got this cat that it's kind of friendly underneath their deck and they want to help it. So we suggest to them, feed it, provide warmth for it if they can't bring it in, and try to get on a list with the SPCA because they can put it into a building or into a place. But unfortunately, we can't take semi-ferals or feral period cats. But yeah, we definitely have way more of a need for cats.
So what kind of a commitment do you need from families who are interested in fostering? Does it need to be long-term? Are they short-term? How does that tend to work out?
We typically bring animals into foster and ask them to keep them until they're adopted. There isn't one family that I can think of right now that's had an animal for more than 6 months. And sometimes it's the older cats that tend to be long term. We have a couple kittens right now, a couple black kittens. Black cats, black dogs tend to be the last to be adopted as well. So we have two sister black kittens, and they're just a bundle of joy. But it's just somebody would rather have that one that has that little marking on their face or something, that's special about them, or the special about their look. And black cats just seem to go last. So,
And is there cost associated with being a foster, or does the rescue take on the cost of food and that care and that sort of thing?
because we're a nonprofit, we get donations. So anytime we get donations, we try to give it to the fosters. If they need anything, if they can't provide it, we will give it. We will provide it for them. There's never really been a problem with fosters. Normally they say, oh, that's okay. I'll buy the food, or, whatever. When I get it, I try to share it. So we don't always get it, always get the donations for the food or the cat litter or the whatever, but when we do, we share it.
And what about medical care? If something were to happen to the animal while it's in foster care, do you have something you work with the vets, or is that something the rescue takes on?
Yeah, we work with Rivers Animal Hospital the majority of the time. Gentle Pets also does our exotics, like our ferrets and our rabbits and things like that. But if there's any need for any kind of medical care, it's always taken care of. None of that's on the foster. The foster also has them. We vaccinate them and deworm them ourselves, so it makes it a little bit cheaper than it actually going through the vets. And then they take them in to be spayed and neutered while they're in care, if they're at the right age or if they aren't spayed or neutered already.
Lani, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really great to see you and your pets.
Thanks.